If you've ever lived in a place where you've observed what I'm about to describe, then you'll know whereof I speak. After a long summer drought, the ground has seemingly turned into dust-covered concrete. When rain finally comes, it's as though the dirt is in denial. Instead of taking on water, the hardened earth shuns it. In the mid-range, from 1 to 5 kilohertz, that's what Brian's voice is sometimes like. It probably doesn't help matters that he's tracking through a dynamic mic, albeit a great one, an SM57. In addition to wielding a katana-like resonant frequency spike at 3.9 kilohertz, Brian's vocal parts come armored with the obstinate hardness and density of that drought-stricken soil. The result, to which I can attest as one who has spent hundreds of hours mixing his songs, is the possibility of ear fatigue. But I've found a way to till and condition that soil, adding porosity so that it becomes more permeable, taking on the water of the rest of the arrangement, losing only some of that rock-hard density while retaining its harmonic structure. Yes, that was a script, but I wrote it, not the AI. Introducing Airwindows TapeFat. This is a little trick I found serendipitously. And that's what I'm about to show you in this video today. So here you see the 5 kilohertz sine wave run through the vocal aux chain. Yes, I do have a pesky little spike at 23 kilohertz, but I've deemed it acceptable. The other three are at 10, 15, and 20. And so overall, I'm pretty happy with this spike profile here. But now, look what happens when I switch on this thing called TapeFat. Ooh, what is that? What am I doing here? I'm the anti-spike guy. I'm the one who's trying to purge spikes from his 5 kilohertz sine wave span readout. These are not aliasing distortion spikes. And I've already tested this out. There are no translation problems. There's no tiz when I play this through cheap-ass little speakers, smartphone speakers, no problem. Because it's not aliasing. It's something else. So, what is it? TapeFat. And you wouldn't be able to tell from Chris's write-up on it. You know, you wouldn't be able to divine the use that I'm putting it to just by reading this blurb. But you can pause it and read it. I will point out here, this is the key sentence. Since it's using primes, it doesn't reinforce any particular frequency. Right? It's reinforcing frequencies, just not any particular frequencies. It's creating this combing effect. It's a combing effect, but it's not intermodulation distortion. It's not aliasing distortion. It's something else. And it's that, when you hear it, it's that porosity. It makes the vocal permeable. And in a way that, I'll just stop talking about it and let you hear it. right? Let me turn off the oscillator, get rid of span. Make sure I bring the master fader back up. So I'm going to start this off by bypassing TapeFat. I'm also going to show you this other thing here that I discovered, Airwindows Shape, and let you hear what that's doing. But that's more of an afterthought. Here we go. I'm not gonna play all the way through, but this vocal for this song, this vocal really jumped out hard and dense and fierce at the beginning, and then it kind of seemed to relax into the rest of the mix as it went along. But it was really jarring at the beginning. And it's not the kind of thing that I can just EQ away. So this is my trick. Here we go.
My last words are lost on the winds of my dying breath. 100 years from now, no one will think of my death. I'm telling my own story.
Okay. Now I'll turn TapeFat on and we'll listen again.
My last words are lost on the winds of my dying breath. 100 years from now, no one will think of my death. I'm telling my own story, and I tell it with no regret. The name is Barn Christian, and this is how it went.
One more time. I'll start right when the vocal comes in. I'll bypass TapeFat again. This time, this will be a shorter AB.
My last words are lost on the winds of my dying breath. My last words are lost on the winds of my dying breath. 100 years from now, no one will think of my death. I'm telling my own story, and I tell it with no regret.
Again here. Bypass.
I'm telling my own story. I'm telling my own story, and I tell it with no regret.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it really does make a difference when you listen to the song all the way through front to back. It has a more granular texture. It gives the voice a porosity and a granularity that I think is much easier on the ear. And so I'm just going to play through a little bit longer of a section of the song, and I'm going to A-B this thing called Airwindows Shape, which, well, let me see. Asymmetrical wave shaper for peak manipulating. What I'm using it here to do is to smooth some of that granularity that TapeFat is introducing, and to warm the vocal a little bit more. So here we go. I'll just start with both of them bypassed, and I'll let it play about yay far, and I'll just be switching them on and off as it goes along.
My last words are lost on the winds of my dying breath. 100 years from now, no one will think of my death. I'm telling my own story, and I tell it with no regret. The name is Barn Christian, and this is how it went. A letter came to the battlefield where we fought for our lives. A message that I would be a father, written by my wife. The captain said I could leave, I was needed at home. Danger waited on the road, I could feel it in my bones. I traveled near the tree line, I could see light ahead. A candle in the window in the room where we were wed. The news of my coming home made it through the town. There must have been 10 men waiting to take me down. The Yankees shot me on my porch, blue coats beat me to my knees. They cinched the rope and hung me from the nearest witness tree. They broke my neck when they pulled my mule out from under me. I died that night by the hands of men, hating men like me. My wife gave birth when she heard the news, stillborn twins were born. They buried us with broken hearts, a child beneath each arm. War rate.
Okay, so that's enough of that. It's just a trick. I used it on Ballad of William T. Anderson to the same effect, to sort of cut down on that enormous proximity effect, which was a result of him singing way too close to the mic. It's just an interesting thing that it does, and I thought I'd put it out there for your consideration. So that's it from lovely scenic Paji City, South Korea. This is Final Bear. May the winds of clarity blow ever in your favor. Over and out.